Good morning, Euthyphro, or something like that. Day 2. Socrates. But you, by heaven, Euthyphro, you think that you have such an accurate knowledge of things divine, and what is holy and unholy, that in circumstances such as you describe you can accuse your father? You are not afraid that you yourself are doing an unholy deed? Euthyphro. Why, Socrates, if I did not have an accurate knowledge of all that, I should be good for nothing, and Euthyphro would be no different from the general run of men. That's interesting. Well then, admirable Euthyphro, the best thing I can do is to become your pupil and challenge Meletus before the trial comes on. Let me tell him that in the past I have considered it of great importance to know about things divine, and that now when he asserts that I erroneously put forward my own notions and inventions on his head, I have become your pupil. I could say, come, Meletus, if you agree that Euthyphro has wisdom in such matters, you must admit as well that I hold the true belief and must not prosecute. If you do not, you must lodge your complaint, not against me, but against my aforesaid master. Accuse him of corrupting the elder generation, me and his own father, me by his instruction, his father by correcting and chastising him. So instead of corrupting the younger generation, this young man is corrupting the older generation. Oh, Socrates. I wonder if this dude thinks he's serious. And if I would not yield, Socrates continues, would neither quit the suit nor yet indict you rather than myself, then I would say the same in court as when I challenged him. Euthyphro. Yes, Socrates, by heaven. If he undertook to bring me into court, I guess I would find out his rotten spot, and our talk there would concern him sooner by a long shot than ever it would me. So deliberately turning the spotlight on the other instead of yourself. Deliberately seeing the I know these things in Afrikaans. I'm gonna make my own. The speck of dust in your brother's eyes instead of the bulk in your own. The splinter in your brother's eyes, I guess, is the English. Deliberately doing that. Socrates. Yes, my dear friend, that I know, and so I wish to be your pupil. This Meletus, I perceive, along presumably with everybody else, appears to overlook you. Oh, like sting, but sees into me so easily and keenly that he has attacked me for impiety. So in the name of heaven, tell me now about the matter you just felt sure you knew quite thoroughly. State what you take piety and impiety to be, with reference to murder and all other cases. Is not the holy always one and the same thing in every action? And again, is not the unholy always opposite to the holy and like itself? And as unholiness, does it not always have its one essential form, which will be found in everything that is unholy? Who did I talk to recently about this? How Socrates takes, I think it was at the Stoa after Socrates, takes the most serious matters seriously in a light-hearted way. Yes, surely, Socrates, Euthyphro says. Socrates. Tell me then, how do you define the holy and the unholy? Euthyphro, well then, I say that the holy is what I am now doing, prosecuting the wrongdoer who commits a murder or a sacrilegious robbery or sins in any point like that, whether it be your father or your mother or whoever it may be, and not to prosecute would be unholy. Very interesting beginning. I say that the holy is what I am now doing. And Socrates, observe what a decisive proof I will give you, that such is the law. It is one I have already given to others. I tell them that the right procedure must be not to tolerate the impious man, no matter who. Does not mankind believe that Zeus is the most excellent and just among the gods? Well, as a woman, I know Zeus a bit differently. And these same men admit that Zeus shackled his own father, Kronos, for swallowing his other sons unjustly, and that Kronos in turn had gelded his father, Uranus, for like reasons. But now they are enraged at me when I proceed against my father for wrongdoing, and so they contradict themselves in what they say about the gods and what they say of me. Okay, so two things. I'm currently also reading the Republic, and we've just finished reading book 3. And in book 3, Plato via Socrates, makes quite a claim, although I think that sounds more like Plato than Socrates, makes quite a claim for censorship, and that these types of stories should not be told to the youth for exactly this reason, that they would use it as examples to justify their actions, and it's not very moral examples. What was the second point? Oh, he's acquitting himself. Acquitting, is that the right word? He's putting himself on the same level as the gods. That's also maybe dangerous to do. Socrates, there, Euthyphro, you have the reason why the charge is brought against me. It is because whenever people tell such stories about the gods, here we go, I am prone to take it ill, and so it seems that is why they will maintain that I am sinful. So he refuses to believe anything negative about the gods. Well now, if you who are so well versed in matters of the sort entertain the same beliefs, then I necessarily, it would seem, I must give in. For what could we urge who admit that? For our own part, we are quite ignorant about these matters. But in the name of friendship, tell me, do you actually believe that these things happened so? Yes, Socrates, and things even more amazing, of which the multitude does not know. So he seems to be hinting that he's initiated into the mysteries. We also talked about, in the Socratic/Platonic worldview, the good is ultimate, the ground of being is good, and how that, and this is what Socrates is defending here, that the ground of being, and hence the gods who are closer to ultimate reality, if not ultimate reality themselves, are good, and how that completely changes soteriology is in Afrikaans, soteriology, I think, in English. The teaching of how we are saved. For if the ground of being is good, And hence all that sprung from the ground of being, including us human beings, are good, and at our core we are good. We do not need an external savior. But if all is rotten, if all is fallen, then we do. So it's actually quite, it's not just about did the gods do it or not. It's about the question of ultimate reality. What is its nature? Is it good or is it rotten? Euthyphro. Yes, Socrates, and things even more amazing of which the multitude does not know. Oh yeah, I read that. Socrates, and you actually believe that war occurred among the gods, and there were dreadful hatreds, battles, and all sorts of fearful things like that. Such things as the poets tell of, and good artists represent in sacred places. Yes, and at the great Panathenaic festival, the robe that is carried up to the Acropolis is all inwrought with such embellishments. What is our position, Euthyphro? Do we say that these things are true? Oh, he's so bragging about the fact that he's initiated into the mysteries, Euthyphro. Not these things only, Socrates, but as I just now said, I will, if you wish, relate to you many other stories about the gods, which I am certain will astonish you when you hear them, which is, of course, against the mysteries. An initiate is not supposed to share the stories with an uninitiate, but there's a case to be made that Socrates himself was an initiate. Socrates, I shouldn't wonder. You should tell me all about them when we have the leisure at some other time. That's a nice way. If you're not really interested in what someone wants to tell you, say, oh, we should definitely. Oh, I just did it to someone, but I didn't mean it like this. I just meant like we need to talk in person, not text. So I'm not saying that if I say that, that's what I'm doing, but it's a good way, good trick. At present, try to tell me more clearly what I asked you a little while ago. For, my friend, you were not explicit enough before when I put the question. What is holiness? You merely said that what you are now doing is a holy deed, namely prosecuting your father on a charge of murder. And Socrates, I told the truth. Possibly, but Euthyphro, there are many other things that you will say are holy. Because they are. Euthyphro said that. Socrates. Well, bear in mind that what I asked of you was not to tell me one or two out of all the numerous actions that are holy. I wanted you to tell me what is the essential form of holiness, which makes all holy actions holy. I believe you held that there is one ideal form by which unholy things are all unholy, and by which all holy things are holy. Do you remember that? I do. Well then, show me what precisely this ideal is, so that with my eye on it and using it as a standard, I can say that any action done by you or anybody else is holy if it resembles this ideal, or if it does not, can deny that it is holy. Well, Socrates, if this is what you want, I certainly can tell you. Good for him. It is precisely what I want, Socrates said. Well then, what is pleasing to the gods is holy, and what is not pleasing to them is unholy. So let's stop there for the day. Have a good one.